Gerber is CEO and founder of Paracelsus Recovery in Switzerland, who treats people with longevity fixation syndrome. Jan, morning to you.
Good morning.
Is this a real thing, though? Because is there a danger? We live in a world where we pathologise everything. And these guys, with their fixation syndrome, want to make everything a medical experiment because they think they can control life, they can control entropy by simply measuring everything and regarding everything as a scientific point to be clutched at. Are you fostering that by sort of saying, yeah, and now you've got a medical condition as well associated with that?
That's an interesting spin on it. I must be very clear that it's not a recognized medical condition as per, the psychiatric big book as yet. What we observed is just that an obsession with, living longer started out with, living healthy and better, and then with living longer. It becomes more and more of really an issue for some people. And I always say we just have to look at this very pragmatically. It's a problem when it becomes a problem. Yeah. And we just want to point this out, that people are aware that, the scales can tip.
I mean, what we're talking about here really is a version, I don't want to misuse technical terms here, but it strikes me as a version of an obsessive compulsive disorder, that they've fixated on the notion of living forever and then everything has to be repurposed in support of that.
No, absolutely. I mean, we are very clear that this comes mostly out of an anxiety type. We don't even know disorder, but the world seems more and more confusing for a lot of people, from geopolitics to scares about AI and about the future. And COVID has shown us that our life as we know it can be upended almost overnight. So that kind of sense of not being in control leads a lot of people to focus on what can be in control, and your own body is at arm's length for that.
How do you treat this? Because one treatment is just say get over yourself and sort of give yourself a shake, but that doesn't work clearly. How do you treat something like this? How do you make them see the world as something to be surprising and not something to be controlled?
Always with mental health conditions, you have to look at the root cause, right? So this is a symptom, an over fixation on longevity as an over fixation on anything. When it becomes a psychological burden, it's just a symptom. So are addictions, they are a symptom. So you have to look at what's underlying. And again, that's often an anxiety disorder. It can be rooted in trauma. It can be rooted in, self-esteem issues. And that's where you focus with the therapy. And that's very different from person to person, depending on their life story.
That's interesting. I'm not entirely surprised that this syndrome exists, having spoken to Brian Johnson when I